Hey everyone, welcome back to Sword Fitness channel. I'm Lou, your go-to personal trainer and nutrition coach. If you are new here, I'm all about blending the science with fitness to help you achieve the body of your dreams. No fad diets, no quick fixes, only evidence-based information tailored for women who are ready to take control over their health and their well-being. Today, we have an exciting topic. We are going to be talking about how to grow muscles effectively. Whether you're a beginner or you've been lifting weights for a while, understanding the science behind muscle growth is crucial. We are going to dive into the three key factors: mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage. Training smart, that is, using science to guide your program and your workouts, is much more important than training hard. By taking in the principles and ideas I outline in this video, you can avoid a lot of mistakes lifters make when they just start their training. Understanding how muscle growth and variables that contribute to muscle growth is essential for your physique goals. From what we know, we have three mechanisms. Like I said, we have mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage. While not all experts agree on effectiveness of metabolic stress and muscle damage, no one has anything against mechanical tension. All right, let's talk about mechanical tension. When you lift weights, and sometimes you feel like your muscle is about to rip off your bone, that's mechanical tension. There are two types of tension. So we've got passive tension and active tension. Passive tension is when you simply stretch a muscle without contracting it. So think about all the static stretches you do at the end of your workout. That's, of course, if you cool down properly. Not many people do. So that's your passive tension. And active tension is when you activate your muscle, when you contract your muscle. And think about, like, when you do your hip thrusts, think about squeezing your glutes. When you squeeze your glutes at the top of the movement, that's active tension. So when you actively contract the muscle. Pretty simple. To maximize muscle growth by using mechanical pathway, you must, first of all, use exercises that have eccentric and concentric phases. Eccentric is when your muscle is lengthening while being contracted. Think about when you do your squat, when you move down, your glutes and hammies, they stretch as you move down, but they're also being contracted at the same time. That's your eccentric phase of the squat movement, and concentric phase is when you shorten the muscle, when you contract and shorten your muscles to lift a weight. So when you lift the barbell off the ground to squeeze your glutes at the top of hip thrusts, that's your concentric phase. Same with the squats. When you come up, your movement up is the concentric phase of that movement. For you to maximize your muscle growth by using the mechanical tension and mechanical pathways, your exercises must both have these phases, concentric and eccentric. Second, for you to maximize mechanical tension, you want to be moving through a decent range of motion. When I mean decent range of motion, I mean full movement potential of your joint. Third, we want to create maximal activation and contraction by lifting heavy enough, or maybe lifting moderate weight with as many reps as possible to the failure. And also you can intentionally contract the muscle as hard as you can through your mind-muscle connection. The fourth factor, time under tension, is also very important. Your muscle need a lot of consistent signaling to grow larger. They need enough stimulating repetitions to be motivated to grow. If the contraction time is fast, if you're moving fast, you won't achieve high enough levels of tension to stimulate muscle growth. So only repetitions that are heavy enough, think about 85 to 90% of your 1 rep max, or repetitions done with lighter weight to the failure will meet these criteria and will create enough mechanical tensions for your muscles to grow. So basically, if you lift with intention, full range of motion, and to the failure, you will generate enough of mechanical tension for your muscles to grow. And that's why so many professionals keep talking about progressive overload, because your muscles adjust and they get stronger as you go, and you have to continue to create enough mechanical tension for your muscles to grow. So right now we're gonna mention all the strategies you can use in your training programs to create mechanical tension. So we've got mind-muscle connection, you've got progressive overload, you also have rest pause repetitions. This is when you intentionally program rest in your set. So when you're working with heavy enough weight, you program 10 to 20 second rest. We also have cluster sets. We have heavy partial repetitions, and we have enhanced eccentric, heavy eccentric phase exercises, and we also have pause repetitions. That's when we talked about tempo, we talked about time under tension. We also have forced repetitions. This is when you perform additional repetitions of an exercise with the assistance of a spotter or your training partner after you reach the point of muscle failure. Now let's talk about metabolic stress. This is the burn and the pump you feel during your workouts. They're similar, but they're not exactly the same. If I wanted you to experience burn during your exercise, I would just give you 100 repetitions, let's say with the glute bridges, and just give you one set of 100 repetitions, you would be burning. But if I wanted you to experience the swelling, the muscle pump, I'd probably give you 4 sets of 50 repetitions, because it's hard to get that pump, hard to get the swelling with just one set. So the idea of how metabolic stress, how that burn and pump helps you to grow muscle, is fluid gets trapped in the cells. There is a corresponding pressure towards the cell's membranes. The cells perceive it as a threat, and they respond by growing thicker, and in turn, it helps you to grow muscle. But that's in theory. Unfortunately, we cannot prove it or disprove it because we don't have the technology yet. Also, burn and pump could be effective because fatigue associated with high repetitions and low rest slows down the contraction speed, and then it allows for maximum mechanical tension. So we don't know. Maybe it's just another strategy to create the mechanical tension, and that's how it helps muscle growth. For now, pump and burn are considered beneficial for muscle growth, and it is the best option to choose when you don't have access to gym equipment, when you don't have access to heavier weights. Or maybe if you choose to exercise at home with light weights and body weight, that's when you can go after the metabolic stress in order to maximize your muscle growth. Strategies we use to create metabolic stress. We've got high repetitions, fast speed. We've got short rest periods. We've got mind-muscle connection. We also can use bands and chains. I use a lot of bands when we work at home just to maximize that metabolic stress, to create that pump and burn. We also have constant tension. That's your isometric exercises. So isometric is when you don't move, but you work in your muscles. So think about planks. We also have partial repetitions. We have pyramids, drop sets, supersets, burnouts. Talking about your training, creating your training, I had a question on Instagram. A female asked me, do you have to do separate days for your legs and upper body days? She said that she likes full body training. And I wanted to answer this question here. It depends on your goals and why you are exercising. If it's just to add some movement to your day, then no, you don't have to do upper lower body splits. You can just do full body workout. However, if you are training from home and you don't have gym equipment, you don't have heavier weights, I usually program that type of split because you are able to make it more effective for muscle growth. Most of women I work with are looking to tone their bodies, and muscle growth is essential part of that process. Also, muscle growth is really effective for fat loss. It's effective for fat loss because muscle repairing process demands energy. When you stop moving after your full body circuits, after your cardio type of activity, you stop burning calories. When you use these principles of mechanical tension and metabolic stress, your body will continue burning calories for the next 48 hours to repair muscles, which means you are going to automatically increase your deficit of calories. And this is how we lose body fat. We create deficit of calories. But you don't have to do that any extra work to burn that extra calories. Your body burns it by trying to repair the muscles. It's possible to achieve mechanical tension and metabolic stress to maximize your muscle growth in your full body workouts at home, but you would probably have to do lots and lots of repetitions with big range of motion, and you would have to implement other strategies I mentioned earlier. I personally think, from my experience, if you are creating your own training program, you will have much higher chances of achieving muscle growth and tons of other resistance training benefits if you stick to upper lower body day splits and other splits that will allow you to focus on less muscle groups per session. But this is only regarding home training. If you train in a gym, it does not apply to you, because in a gym, it's much easier to grow muscle and implement all the strategies with heavier weights within a smaller time period. So you can do full body workouts in the gym, and they will be effective for muscle growth just because you're able to work with heavier weights. All right, we have spoken about mechanical tension. We have spoken about strategies for metabolic stress. The last mechanisms that helps us to grow muscle is muscle damage. And it's last for a reason. Muscle damage, it's your muscle soreness. The soreness that you experience a day or two after your workout, that's an indicator of you experiencing muscle damage. So soreness and muscle damage is only created by you doing unfamiliar movements, new exercises, or a physical activity, especially when that activity accentuates on the eccentric phase. I'll remind you, eccentric phase of the exercise is when you lengthen the muscle while it's trying to contract. So the traditional thinking is that lifting tears your muscles, and while your body is resting, it repairs those micro tears. And that's how your muscle becomes stronger and larger. But what could be the case, it's not the damage, but the tension produced in the muscle while you're working through your full range of motion during a workout, and the tension experienced inside the muscle cells in the days after due to swelling, that helps muscle growth. So we don't know whether it's damage or the actual tension during the workout and swelling experienced after. Remember, swelling is your metabolic stress. That's what helps muscle grow. But either way, soreness is considered overrated in the industry and can do more harm than good. Because if you are sore after your Monday session, you are not going to be able to handle as much volume on your Wednesday training. And also, your pain will reduce muscle activation. Volume and muscle activations are crucial and critically important for muscle growth. So you still want to get a bit of soreness, but just try to not overdo it so it doesn't interfere with your consistency. Now, strategies to create muscle damage. You can use any new activity, unfamiliar movements, free weight exercises, enhanced eccentrics, loaded stretching, and forced rep negatives. So there you have it. 3 pillars for muscle growth: your mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage. Implement the strategies I mentioned earlier for you to grow your muscles. But the most important part is consistency. Consistency is key when you want to enhance your physique. And patience. Trust me, patience is your best friend on this journey. So before we wrap up, let's hear from you. What's your favorite muscle building workout or a tip? Share it in the comments below and let's support one another. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more empowering content. Stay strong, and I'll see you next week. I'm almost there. It's stressful. So many lights. I'm like sweating.